into yet another installment of our GNS Winter Series. Wait a second.
It's very winter out there.
It's very winter out there. I'm not sure what we're going to call this series when it gets warmer, but for right now, it's the Winter Series, and very apropos. Wait a second. Somebody is missing from this broadcast.
Rabbi Lichter is in the broadcast. Actually, he's just hiding momentarily because we have some technical difficulties, and he is our tech guru on the back end. So he's
all right. Good. He's Rabbi Weil. Rabbi Weil can run a national organization spanning the globe, but logging into this particular format is proving to be challenging. So Yirtzeh Hashem, we'll have Rabbi Lichter back, and hopefully soon Rabbi Weil with us as well. In the meantime, Chazan, how are you doing? I hear you got your second shot. A little bit under the weather?
Feeling better. Feeling a little bit better. Feeling a lot better, actually. I did not expect it to knock me out like that. It really just...
It's crazy. It's crazy. Some people have zero reaction. I know the night I got my first reaction, all I had was a sore arm. But second shot, once I got that second shot that night, chills, I could not stop shaking. I could not get warm, exhaustion. And my wife, who got her second shot a couple of days before that, looked at me and said, "You're such a man. Like, this is such a man thing. Women don't get this, just men." But I know a few women who do get it, but that's what she's saying about me. She's saying it's a man kind of thing. But anyway, we hope that people are listening. If you're qualified, that you're able to find a place to get a vaccine. And if we can help, we have to figure out a way to do that. We're actually working on that, trying to figure out a way to help people get their vaccines if they're qualified. And lots of people are qualified. And
in fact, it's been really amazing seeing people who are recently vaccinated returning to shul. We're finally getting people we haven't seen in almost a year coming back to shul, and it's been really fantastic.
It's really amazing, and it's creating some issues for us because we're trying to keep people safe still, even though they're vaccinated. We still have to follow the New York State guidelines for religious institutions, which is actually way behind the medical guidelines for it. But nevertheless, we still have to keep people 6 feet away from each other, and we still have to make sure that people wear masks, even though nobody wants to wear a mask and nobody wants to stay 6 feet away from each other, but we still have to do those things. And the question is, where are we going to put everybody? So we're actually talking about expanding the back of the main shul into the area where that Shabbos Kiddush usually is. Chazan, I think that was your idea, to be able to provide some seating back there, and also moving the minyan in the base medrash probably into the gym, which is the next largest area, and moving the youth program in the gym into another area which is not quite as large. It's a challenge.
It's a bracha. It's a bracha to have a large building with many spaces.
Yes, we're very lucky. We're actually very lucky, and I think that our lay leadership is looking into getting a tent as the weather gets a little bit warmer, and that will give us yet another venue to open things up. So, Yirtzeh Hashem, that it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem.
It's a very good problem to have. It's been a long time coming.
Been a really long time, and I think pretty much everybody on with us feels and agrees that it's been a really long time. We have anybody watching us? I don't see.
Yeah, we've got people here.
We do. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Good.
Am I the only one drinking coffee?
You are not. Actually, I am also.
Wow.
Wait a second. Are you drinking coffee? Are you drinking with your left? Yes. Are you drinking coffee with your left hand?
I am.
Do you always do that?
No, I'm just testing the weight of my vaccinated arm.
Yes, I hear that. Well, we should all have a refuah shlema. Yirtzeh Hashem. I usually drink coffee with my right hand. This is my mug. It's not one of those little tiny mugs that you use, although today you look like you're using a big mug.
I needed the extra push today. Yeah, usually it's an espresso cup for me, which is like this. Maybe we'll switch to that halfway through if I need a little extra draw. But for today, this is going to work.
Right. Okay. So good to hear. We have any news about Rabbi Weil yet? You have any?
So I think we're going to do a little swap. I'm gonna get off camera. We'll bring Rabbi Lichter in for a little bit. We'll play musical chairs for a moment. I'll see if I can
see what we can do. Okay, sounds good. All right, we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Excellent.
Okay, I guess it's all me for now. That's a little bit of a scary thought, but hopefully you're with us. There you are. Hello there, Rabbi Lichter.
Hello, Rabbi. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. We had to bring in the heavy guns, I see.
Some technological issues. Sometimes, Be Live is new. It seems to be a new format for everybody, so it takes some time to for people to get a handle on it.
People are so into Zoom. It's like that's the only thing that we know. In fact, people still ask me, "Where's the link to click in?" to the winter series, and I say there's no link to click into the winter series. You watch it live on Facebook, on the GNS Facebook page, or you watch it live on the GNS YouTube channel. But there's no link. And what do you mean there's no link? How could there not be a link?
Yeah, listen, sometimes to me it sounds gibberish also. I'm not sure what you're saying sometimes. So I can imagine for people,
for sure,
it's very challenging.
For sure. It's a little bit like a webinar, and we've tried this venue. We seem to be having a hard time connecting with our guests. I think Brooke Goldstein last time also was a little bit of a challenge, but once she got on, she knocked it out of the park.
Yes, that is true.
She's amazing, right? Just we want to encourage you, if you haven't seen the last winter series with our guest Brooke Goldstein from Israel, she is a powerhouse, and we encourage you to view that. By the way, all of these past episodes are archived on both our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel.
Watch them all.
Right. So you
spend all night. Spend all night.
You can binge watch, right? You can binge watch the GNS Winter Series. And by the way, if you find yourself doing that, please reach out to me or Rabbi Lichter, because there's obviously bigger issues that need to be dealt with.
For sure. Rabbi, are you excited, a little concerned for Purim? Where's your head at these days?
It's hard to believe that it's been a year. It's really hard to believe that it's been a year. I remember a discussion with Aaron Kagan, who was president at the time, talking about, should we do the show, the Purim Spiel, or not? And Aaron, I remember Aaron saying that we have to do the Purim Spiel. Interesting, because I think it was through the Purim Spiel that Aaron really connected to the shul.
Yes.
He was like, you got to do the Purim Spiel. It's like the essence of the shul. And that was the last, that Purim, that was it. That was the last thing that we did. And then shul closed that next Shabbos.
I remember.
Which is just, which is crazy to think.
Not because of the Purim Spiel.
What?
We did the Purim Spiel. Shul did not close because of the Purim Spiel.
No, shul did not close because of the Purim Spiel, but it closed soon after. Right? The next Shabbos, right? The Shabbos after Purim, we were closed.
Yeah. I think the next day or something. And
it was, it was just crazy. And I just think about those times when we couldn't get back to shul. I mean, now Baruch Hashem, we're back in shul, and now we're trying to work on getting all of this stuff together. But Baruch Hashem, Rabbi, who's Silwin Khan? Who wants to know where you are? Look in the chat.
I see. I don't know.
Relative?
I think maybe that's Les Khan's, handle in some sort. I don't know. Les might have many different names depending on.
Yeah, it could be. Okay, hiding, lurking under an alias.
Listen, it's always nice to be wanted. Where is he? Where's Walter?
For sure. Listen, I think that we might have to pay people to sort of find out where we are and be our fans and like us and do all of these things.
What an awesome Shabbos was last Shabbos. Yesterday, it was just great to have people in shul, Parsha Zachor, such a vibe and energy. It was really great.
It was great. It was awesome, and I think it left a great taste in people's mouths, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know that people know that we have a kiddush. You think they know that?
The people who ate hopefully know it. Otherwise, they might.
I'm sure the people who ate it. But we have, after davening every Shabbos morning, a socially distant, medically approved kiddush in the ballroom of the Great Neck Synagogue, which we are outgrowing. We're really outgrowing it.
People want to be there.
I think it's a secret sauce. I think it's that cholent. It's the combination of cholent and chicken fingers.
That's it. Shout out to Ross Zuckerman for sure.
Ross was amazing this past Shabbos, right? I don't know about you, but I didn't eat lunch. Ross was amazing this past Shabbos.
If you've seen my stomach, I can handle a kiddush. Yeah, I just was able to handle it.
Okay. Well, it was, but Ross did a great job, and a shout out to Mark Elberg on his 40th birthday, right?
Mark and Robin celebrating, Mark laning. We had in the base medrash, so we had a really tag team laning. Mark Elberg with Truma, Mark Yehazkel with Zachor. It was really.
How many times did Mark Yehazkel lane Zachor?
Right. He did at least three. At least three.
Great. He was great. Right? He was great. And Donnie Steinberg did it in the main show. I mean, all of these guys are super talented.
Stepping up is what it's all about. And these guys are there all the time.
Yep, so. and they can do it. And they can do it. And when they do step up, it really makes a difference. Really makes an incredible difference. So I'm excited about Purim. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, because I know people love to bring kids to shul on Purim, and kids are welcome as long as they can come and wear a mask, not a Purim mask, right? wear a COVID mask and sit with their parents.
They can wear both. They
can wear both, but they'd have to make sure to wear the COVID mask.
For sure.
And be able to sit with their parents for Megillah. We'd love to have them, but if your kids come to shul and run around, unfortunately, this is not the Purim to bring them. Not the Purim to bring them for them, and not the Purim to bring them for for everybody else also. So hopefully next Purim will be back to normal. But we're working hard to make Purim work. I think we have 4 minyanim all at the same time in 4 different locations, and people can sign up for those locations. I'm not sure how the signups are going.
It's getting there. We're getting full at every minyan. It's pretty impressive.
All right. So if you're watching this, after we're done, jump off. We might be done sooner than later if we can't get Rabbi Weil and Yitzi back. I don't know. But after we're done, jump off and register for the Megillah reading. Unfortunately, we have to do this registration, and people will not be able to get past the security unless they have previously registered and their names appear on a list. Now, that's not like a usual Shabbos. I think this past Shabbos, our security guys were busy having a chevrusa, and they weren't paying attention to people coming in. But listen,
it won't be us either. We won't be security this time too.
Right, but for Purim, we really need to get people to register. I hear that the 8 o'clock minyan in the morning is nearly filled. Is that correct?
I think so.
So we might have to open up another minyan, for Purim morning if we have people who are. If we have people who are interested, that might be something that we need to do also. So we're going to have to talk about that. By the way, if anybody has any Purim questions, please feel free to send them to us, and we'll try to deal with them. You can post them on the chat, and we can look at that and see. I'll tell you, Rabbi Lichter, I know that we're cutting back on our Mishloach Manos this year. We're doing what we need to do to fulfill the mitzvah. Which is 2 kinds of food to 1 person. And we're doing a little bit more with our Matanos Le'evyonim. So that's it.
People should know that they don't have to go all out. They don't have to go to 50 homes like some people who are accustomed to doing. It's Let's give the mitzvos more quality, perhaps, than more quantity this year.
I think it's a good year to do that, and to focus on Matanos Le'evyonim. This is a hard time for people. We just remember that fund that was started, the Kesher Fund that
heard about it. Yep,
Aryeh Karkowski was involved with, and some other people. Yep. So I hear that they've actually helped people in our community. people who are having a hard time financially, that they've applied to the Kesher Fund and they've been able to help them. So
Fantastic.
It's not an easy time, for people across the board. So
it takes strength to ask for help.
Yep.
And
the help is there.
Yeah.
The help is there. So are you excited about Purim?
I am. I have to tell you, Yitzi's back. Fantastic.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here, but I'm sorry to report that we have some technical difficulties that seem to be insurmountable.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure, but we need some friends of the FIDF to be able to help us out on this one, and I'm not sure it's gonna happen for today. Unfortunately, sometimes tech just gets in our way last second, and we're still trying on the back end, and hopefully we'll be able to succeed. But if not, we'll have to reschedule Rabbi Weil and figure out how to get him here in a better way.
Okay. All right. We'll have to work on that.
Rabbi Weil is always so accommodating to Great Neck Synagogue, and he has so much to share, whether it's in giving his shiurim, whether it's in giving insights into the OU where he was working, and now FIDF. He's just really a Renaissance man in so many different ways. You talk about anything, and
he's really a fan favorite. No question, a real fan favorite.
Yeah. Okay, so Rabbi Weil, we will get you. We will get you.
Can you imagine that the people watching this now have to see more of us?
So it's crazy with Purim is coming up, and we haven't practiced for the spiel. It's like I usually look forward to it as my time for exercise, and I really miss it. I have to tell you. I know sometimes we like.
You want to go for a run after we finish this?
A ride?
A ride, whatever you want.
Carry me on your back. Go ahead. It's good.
Listen, I'm actually nervous because with Rabbi Jensen making Aliyah, I don't know what's going to be with the Purim spiel. He was always he was the guiding light. He was the one who.
I think he said from Israel he's still going to do it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good.
That's what he told me. That's what he told me.
Hashem. Glad to hear that. I'm glad that he'll be able to do it from Israel, and that will be good. We're going to miss him. I'm telling you, it's going to be. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. But Baruch Hashem, it's a wonderful dream that he's always had. And I know friends of the IDF and the Jensen family are very close because of David. David, Oksana's son, served as a lone soldier in the army. And friends of the IDF were really instrumental in helping that connection. I'll tell you what I miss. I miss the Friends of the IDF dinner.
Yes.
Right? Not so much because of the food.
Oh, I missed that.
Not so much because of the food, although that was certainly something to talk about. It was great food, but I miss seeing all of these soldiers. The men soldiers, the women soldiers, who come in, who speak, who serve who do incredible duty for the state of Israel, and the closest we can come to helping them is really through the FIDF. And I know that in Great Neck it's a big deal, and I think in many other places it's a big deal as well. So that's good. Anybody read a good book recently?
I'm on. So John Kroll, shout out to John Kroll. I think it was around the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, where he suggested to me, he actually gave me the book Jewish Justices of the Supreme Court, and the 8 Supreme Court justices. It's a great read. It's a great read, all about the Jewish justices. As like a YU grad, so you always hear the name Cardozo, right? But how much do you really know about him? So there's this great story about Benjamin Cardozo that he of course grew up in the Spanish Portuguese synagogue in Manhattan. And there, at some point, there was discussion of whether they would move a little bit from being a mechitza shul to a non-mechitza shul. And although he was only somewhat involved in the shul, and he certainly had relatives who were there, they brought him in to argue the point of why they should keep it as a mechitza shul. His arguments won the day. And it was really, Dallin talks about why that argument is what kept Spanish Portuguese shul to have a mechitza to this day.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing. That's an amazing.
That's David Dowd, the author David Dowd. I don't know if you remember. A couple of years ago, we had him as a Scotland resident here in Shul.
Wasn't he a Ramaz boy, if I remember correctly?
I don't know. Yeah,
I think I remember him, that name, from my Ramaz days. It could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but maybe. Anyway, so that's good. So did you finish the book, or are you still reading it?
Of course not. You know.
How much do you read?
Right. Listen, I'm on page 215. You know, so I gotta like.
How many books do you read at a time?
I'm not gonna tell you how many. Listen, he gave it to me a few months ago. But listen.
How many books do you read at a time? Am I the only one? I read like I always have like 5, 6, 7 books going on at a time.
No, I'm not that good. I got 2 to 3.
I always have I'll get 200, 300 pages deep, and then I'll get bored, and then I'll pick something else up, and I keep going through that cycle, and then finally I'll make my way back to the first one. So I have to read the last 100 pages to remember what I'm up to.
So which 7 books are you reading now?
So the one that I tapped back into yesterday is a book called Endure by Alex Hutchinson. It's about all of the different facets of the human experience that prevent you from wanting to finish something, actually. Little irony there. He talks about all the emotional blockages that we have, physical blockages, psychological blockages, and how to overcome each one of those facets to be able to endure and to keep going. It's a fascinating read.
That's great. That's amazing.
That's really amazing. I haven't been able to finish it, so it's not working.
Listen, you know what? It's sometimes a lot easier to read about it than it is to implement it in our lives. No, that's that's not always so easy. So let's see. I'll share with you a book that I'm in the middle of, and actually a big shout out to my wife for recommending this. There is a psychologist by the name of Dr. Edith Eger, E-G-E-R. She is a survivor of the Shoah, child survivor of the Shoah. Story is extraordinarily powerful, and I'm thinking, you know, as I'm thinking about Purim, I'm thinking about Pesach. As I'm thinking about Pesach, I'm thinking about Yom HaShoah and Yom HaAtzmaut. And so she has written 2 books. The first is The Gift, which she talks about, you know, the gift of her life. She actually was a ballerina before the war, and was so injured in the war, her back was broken, that she wondered if she would ever dance again. And actually she lectures all over the world, and she usually ends her lectures with a high kick. Now, you know, that's an amazing thing. I don't think I could do a high kick now. I'm not sure I could ever do a high kick, but she does that. So her first book was The Gift, you know, which is really amazing. And she also has a book called 12 Lessons to Save Your Life. I finished The Gift, and now I'm into the 12 Lessons to Save Your Life, which is a great thing. Again, easier to read than to actually live by, but that's what it is. So I recommend, I recommend it highly, especially as we approach Yom HaShoah.
How does your perception of those types of books change now that you've taken a recent trip to Poland? Does that alter your perspective?
You know, it's interesting because I was giving a shiur the other day in my Thursday morning women's Chumash class, and we were talking about Bilam's bracha to the Jewish people, Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov. So, you know, we started talking about Ohel, the different meanings of Ohel, and right away somebody referred to the Rebbe's Ohel, right, in Old Montefiore Cemetery. You know, that's what they knew as the Ohel. And I started to do some research as to why there are Ohalim around, and all the research points to all the places that we were in Poland. I mean, you know, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but you know, the Ohel of Rav Eli Melech, where we have that phenomenal picture of that chassid.
Yep.
Right? A little bit of a duet, you and that chassid, right? You know, and the Ohel of the Chosev Lublin, which we also got to saw, a much smaller Ohel. And then we were in the Ohel of the Nitziv, weren't we? Also at the
Nitziv, who's buried right with the with Rav Chaim Soloveitchik.
Right, in the Warsaw Cemetery.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I said to the Shir, I said, it's worth going to Poland just to walk through the Warsaw Cemetery. Just to see.
Days. It's a history lesson.
Oh my gosh, it's really amazing. When do you think we're going to be able to do those trips again?
I want to go soon. I want to go soon. It's funny. Reb David and Meir and I are actually trying to figure out how we can get out there and do some scouting for some new routes and some new trips. It's very much
I heard Abu Dhabi's, in the background there. Is that true?
I want to go to Morocco and Spain. That's my next trip. I want to fly into Morocco and then head straight up through Gibraltar into Spain. There's so much history there. There's so much to see.
Sounds great.
Borders and flights are not so simple right now. So
nothing is simple right now. Nothing.
Even logging into a web broadcast on a Sunday morning.
Ellen is trying to get into Israel to help her daughter Aliza, who's due to give birth, B'Shah Tova Mutzlachas, and literally, I think I've reached out to everybody that I know, and it's like it's as hard as connecting to a BeLive program.
Yes,
I just can't do it. Can't do it. Really challenging. So,
but I will tell you that our trip that was canceled this past year, we were supposed to go in May to Poland, and obviously we couldn't. I routinely get requests from all those people who are joining us. We want to go. We still want to go. When can we go? We got to go. We have to put it back together. So
listen, maybe next May.
Travel. So
maybe next May.
I hope so. I hope we can. I hope we can go sooner.
Yeah. Brings us back to, you read of the Rishonim who had such difficulty in reaching Eretz Yisrael. When they did, it was a dream come true. For us who have taken for granted what it means to get to Eretz Yisrael, to get to other places, now with its, get back. When you get off that plane, whenever Ellen Bezashem will get off that plane, she'll feel it a lot more probably.
But she's going with your mother-in-law here.
Well, then she should go as soon as possible.
Your mother-in-law has there's a birth coming up there also, isn't there? In the
birth, my sister-in-law in Eretz Yisrael, yes.
Should be B'Shah Tova Mutzlachas also.
Amen.
Yeah, it's not so easy to get there today. It's really hard. It's even hard for Israelis to get back. Right? I think Lara Ryan was here. She came in because her father-in-law passed away, Gregory's father, and she couldn't get back with her kids. She couldn't get back to Israel. And finally got on a rescue flight. That's what they're calling them. El Al's running rescue flights. Finally got back to a rescue flight. And she had to stay in a hotel when she got back to be quarantined, even though she has a house, right? They put her and her family in 2 rooms in a hotel. It wasn't the King David, by the way.
Not a vacation.
It wasn't even the Inbal, right? And that's where they had to stay for a time to quarantine. It's crazy.
The yeshiva kids who are making decisions, should they come home for Pesach, should they not come home for Pesach? I don't know, but I think the easy one is stay.
Because you're not going to get back. If you come home for Pesach, you're not getting back. Right. If you come home for Pesach, that's it. You're staying there. I mean, we'll miss them. I'm sure the parents will miss them, but listen, I remember last year, all the kids coming home as a result of COVID. Right, as soon as COVID hit, our shlichot. Remember our shlichot who were here. Our shlichot went back to Israel. People who were in Israel, learning in Israel, came back here. They missed out on a full year experience. It's really a challenge, but hopefully they'll stay in Israel. Pesach in Israel is wonderful. It's more wonderful if you're a Sephardi. If you're an Ashkenazi, it's not so easy. But if you're a Sephardi who eats kitnios, it's mamish unbelievable. If you're an Ashkenazi, it's like, can I eat here? Can I eat this? I don't even know how this works.
I would imagine being a Sephardi who eats kitnios in America is also easier than being an Ashkenazi.
It's a little bit challenging. By the way, my wife reminds me that we actually have this incredible woman signed up for Yom HaShoah. Her name is Brunya Brandman, And a big shout out to Phyllis Safdie, who put this together. Phyllis is amazing. I had a call with Mrs. Brandman this week, and she's in her 90s, and I'm like, I'm expecting to have to explain everything. She's no problem. Send me a Zoom link. I'll just join up. So I'm going to see if I can get her hooked up with Rabbi Weil, and maybe she can teach Rabbi Weil how to do this. But she was amazing. Here was this woman, this 91-year-old, I think 91, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can talk about her age. Probably it's not a good idea. But I guess at that point, they really don't care. Once you reach the 90s, you don't really care what people say.
Also, if you're a survivor, we can kind of put it together a little bit.
Correct. And she's like on top of her game. Really, really amazing. So I think it's going to be a really great program.
That's great. Something to look forward to.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Chazan, anybody still watching us, or did they all ditch us?
Somehow we have captivated their attention. They are still with us, believe it or not. We are interesting enough for them to listen to and to watch.
That's amazing. By the way, anybody have any Pesach plans besides being in shul, which I hope you'll all be? Anybody have any Pesach plans? Family coming? Do we do that? Are we allowed to do that these days? I don't even know.
I think, well, I didn't ask, but they're all coming.
Okay. All right. Listen, should all be safe. That's that's the most important thing. It should all be safe. That's crazy. You think about, Rabbi, we're doing the kasher in this year. You know that?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not so happy about that, but
favorite night of the year.
Favorite night of the year at mine also. But we went to great lengths, right? Last year we didn't do it. Everybody kashered on their own, and we still encourage people to do that. But we went to great lengths this year to come up with a system to help people who are going to be home who need to kasher things. And I think it will all be in the Pesach edition of the Scope, assuming that comes out before Pesach. How is that doing?
We're ready. I think Diane and Alan, Andy, they're everybody's ready to go.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Hopefully we'll have that out soon, and we'll be able to do that. And we also have we have matzah, right? The matzah order form went out. Is that true?
Matzah order form went out. Yes, Baruch Hashem. I don't know that they changed the ingredients this year, but it'll still taste good.
Listen, it's not so hard. First of all, the matzah that we had last year was pretty good.
It's good.
Not as good, Chazan, as your family. What's the connection again? Tell us about that family connection.
It's just generations of connections to a particular matzah bakery in Borough Park, where I go and pick it up. Just usually 3 or 4 days before Yontif. It's as fresh as can be, and it's as wonderful as can be. It's the best tasting matzah in the world. It's the best.
It is. You want to share the name of the matzah?
No, I am not going there because I'm not. But
the phone calls will begin.
But it's fantastic. We look forward to it every year.
Fantastic matzah. Well, we didn't, we couldn't get that matzah anymore, but we got a substitute. We actually had a matzah tasting, which is a bizarre kind of thing. There's a like for everything else, there are matzah brokers. Right? Guys who make the shidduchim between the companies and the customers. And this guy he came in with, how many boxes was it, Rabbi Lichter? 3 or 4 boxes?
4 even, yeah.
Right? And everybody in the office took some matzah home without identifying which it was. You had a number assigned to it, and we all ate it. And we pretty much all agreed that the matzah that we got last year was the best. And I think we got good responses to it.
I was not part of that. Was that a? We didn't feel you could be impartial. I still have taste buds. Was there a smear test? Was there a smear test component to that? Because to me, that's a very important part.
There was not a smear test component to it. We wanted the raw material. We wanted to see what the raw material.
There's this. Yeah, everyone goes through this. You take the knife of cream cheese and you end up smearing it on your palm because it breaks through, right? There's no way around that. We've done the palm smear. Matzah needs a certain weight. There's got to be a certain.
People who like a thick matzah.
It's not thick. It's not about thickness. It's about resistance to the cream cheese. This is the trials of our people. This is our history here.
So I will tell you that my son Yosef loves Shatzer matzah. Right? You could literally build a house out of Shatzer matzah. You know that would you chew. I don't know how long it takes him to chew a kazayas of Shatzer matzah. It seems like it would take me 3 nights to do it. It's just just so So the matzah we have is not that hard. It's pretty light. It's pretty tasty. So make sure you get your matzah orders in, because Mark Twersky told me that there's a shortage of matzah this year because the
flour is very hard to get this year.
Hard to get matzah. Places in Israel, places in Israel that are baking matzah, everything's been affected by closures and things like that. Remember, they don't bake matzah now; they bake matzah months ago, and everything's been closed down. So it's very hard. So get your orders in, because if you don't get your orders in, it's not going to be so easy, probably.
What's your looking like? What is your perm suda going to look like this year?
It's going to be pretty quiet. I was actually thinking of getting Ross's getting Ross's meals. It's going to be quiet. Usually we go to the kids and we have such a good time with the kids, and I'm just still a little bit nervous of of doing that.
Rabbi Polakov, I have a video from your Purim Suda last year.
Pray tell.
Mm-hmm. You remember your Purim Suda last year?
Where? Oh, yes, I do remember my Purim Suda last year. So what did we do? We went out, right? You were the new chazan, and I was the old rabbi. I think you're no longer the new chazan. I'm still the old rabbi. And what happened? And we went.
Everything got canceled. Just a little context. Everything got canceled. We both had plans to be with family, and everything got shut down the day before. And they said no. And I think we probably didn't quite understand what was going on, and we went out to eat. To a restaurant.
We went to this place in Queens, right?
Yes, we went to this place this hibachi place called Mio. I think it's called Mio, and it was empty, and we had our Purim Suda at a restaurant together.
It was probably empty for good reason.
I don't know what we clearly did not understand what was going on at the time, as many people did not. But that was our Purim Suda last year.
I think there was another family, maybe the Frank family from the Young Israel, who was there at the end.
I think you're right.
I think we still owe you for that dinner. I think you paid for that. We still need to take you out. I'm going to look for a less expensive place to take you out. But,
it's okay. Katie and I don't like to go out. That's fine.
Wait, is Katie there? Can she jump on and corroborate that information?
Katie doesn't jump on.
All right. Okay. So it looks like we're not going to get Rabbi Weil today. Is that the must?
God willing, we will get him back here at another time.
Okay, Mir Hashem. So we look forward to that, and I guess we want to thank everybody who joined. We're sorry for the disappointment. Believe me, we are as disappointed as you are. Probably because we were not expecting to have to speak for 45 minutes, but we love Rabbi Weil. He's as Rabbi Lifter mentioned earlier, he's really a crowd favorite here. So we do look forward to bringing him on to the next one. And Yirtzeh Hashem, we thank you for joining us, and we hope to have you back. Any parting words, guys?
Next month, I think we're going to change it up a little bit.
Go ahead.
Maybe we'll have a little bit of a Q&A. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe a little bit of Zoom style, make it easier for people.
Okay, sounds good.
Pesach oriented, certainly.
All right. So sort of like a pre-Pesach seminar, right?
Sounds good.
Do we have a date, or we don't have a date yet?
We have a date. We just haven't announced it.
Okay, it's a big secret. Yirtzeh Hashem will send it out. Chazan, any parting words?
That's it for me. Looking forward to Purim. Looking forward to the virtual gala broadcast.
Yes, how is that going?
From what I hear, it's going fantastically. It's been I know there are a lot of people working very hard behind the scenes to put this together. It's as someone who's involved in these broadcasts, it's really challenging. It's really challenging people are being leaned on in different ways than they're used to, and equally they are stepping up to the challenge, which is really, really fantastic. All in tribute to our shul and to the Jensens and to the people who've been at the front lines to really get us through this past year. It's been incredible, and it will be an incredible broadcast. Really looking forward to viewing it along with everyone else.
People can still sign up, right? The deadline.
People can and should, and the more participation we have, obviously, the more successful it will be, and it's going to be great. It really will. It'll be not only great as an experience for a gala, but it's really a lasting digital asset that we have, as opposed to just memories that we have from our dinners in the past, which is a one-night experience. This is something that we'll have and be able to take with us and go back and view and share.
And the Jensens can take it with them to Israel also.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how do people sign up for this?
Check your emails. We've been sending our emails quite regularly, and you can visit our website, gns.org.
So what's going to happen on this dinner? I mean, am I going to, like, can I watch this later? Is it going to be broadcast live? How do these things work?
That's a very good question. That's more for the tech people. I'm not on the tech side of things, but I believe that it's going to be broadcast live, and I'm sure there will be links to be able to view it later, but everyone is being encouraged to watch it live so we can experience it together, yet separate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So remember to sign up for that, and we look forward to seeing you all at our pre-Pesach seminar.
Looking forward.
Absolutely.
Have a great day, everybody.